I think most people remember David Hogg. Regardless if you are from the United States or not, I from Romania heard about him, and so did my friends. It wasn't his activism which made him famous, by the way. It was his behavior mostly, being very energetic, very passionate as he is holding his speeches, saying that older people, aka their parents, don't know how to do effing democracy. So the children have to show their parents how to do democracy. Only for a couple of months later, for him to do a very interesting gaffe, suggesting that Canadians can donate to American politicians, which is illegal in American democracy. But hey, like he is the one that understands democracy. And obviously, this is very excusable, in my opinion, because I'm not going to call him a kid like the media does, because that's disingenuous, and in my opinion, it's also insulting. He's a teenager. It's the same thing with the Greta Thunberg phenomenon. You have teenagers that are masquerading as kids. I mean, when I was 16, if I would have gone to high school and called myself a kid, I would probably get bullied. I would get laughed at. In fact, if someone were to call me a kid when I was 16, that would have been fighting words right there and then. Most teenagers want to grow up. They want to be considered adults. But for some reason, the mainstream media wants you to consider teenager as children. I guess it's because children are innocent, but teenagers are anything but. Given what I did in my teenage years, I wouldn't consider myself innocent, at least. But here's an interesting take, which a lot of Americans are probably unaware. The idea of using kids or teenagers as political icons happens usually under cultural revolutions. Whether it is Mao's cultural revolution or whether it is Romania's communist revolution, using children in order to push messages is something very common. And you will have children disavowing their parents. You're going to have children lecturing and educating their parents. It's what a lot of authoritarian regimes do. I wouldn't be surprised if the Nazis did it as well. Because usually radical and new ways of thinking cannot be taught to adults, since they know a lot of counter arguments for the ideology. But children are very impressionable. They're very easy and receptive to new ideas that they don't have the information to debunk yet. So this is why revolutions use children as a way of pushing a political message that otherwise it would be very difficult to push. We got even words in Romania for this. We got, oh look, the egg is trying to educate the chicken. What are you doing? Are you trying to teach daddy how to make children? Like we got actual words ingrained in our language to mock this behavior. When whether it is teenager or young adults trying to educate someone that's older, which by the way, like it can happen in certain cases, but to like completely educate the older population, no, that's not how it works. All right. The older population always have lived experience, what they like to call. The left actually uses this term, lived experience, yes. What should we talk about David Hogg? Very interesting fellow. And the reason that I made this video is because it shows exactly how left-leaning people love to think about corporations and why this ideology, this very bigoted ideology, ruins businesses. And unfortunately, this ideology is also about taking over businesses, so it goes hand in hand in a way. Now, interestingly enough, the reason that this revolutionary ideology completely destroys businesses has to do with the way it views a business. You see, normal people view businesses as entities which are supposed to maximize their wealth. And by maximizing their wealth, they have to put up a good product that people are happy with. That is the key, most important thing of any business out there. If you don't put a product that makes people happy, then you're going to go bankrupt. The revolutionary way of thinking views businesses as a community. And communities don't worry about maximizing profits. They worry about creating a safe and nice environment for not just the people that work at the company, but also for the customers. Now the business is also responsible in making political statements and behaving in a just way in society. So the product doesn't matter anymore, which is why this always fails, right? Because in reality, if the product isn't good, people don't buy it, regardless of what political messages the company has, regardless of how it treats its employees. And at the end of the day, a lot of people lie. You know, we like to say, oh, we would like if Kaufland pays a living wage, right? You go around and you ask people, and they will always say, yes, yes, like companies should pay the workers more. But go into Kaufland's parking lot and ask people if they want to donate 15% of how much they shopped for the money to go for higher workers' wages, and see how many people actually do donate, right? Like, it's a difference between what people say on polls and on surveys and what people think they want versus what people actually want. Like, it's a cold reality of the marketplace. And here is the reason I made the video, because David Hogg actually explains why the new vision of companies as communities is a load of rubbish and why they go bankrupt. You see, he took a little bit of upset with the My Pillow guy. My Pillow guy is the CEO of a company which supported Donald Trump, and he had political opinions that were upsetting to a lot of progressive people, which is why he got boycotted. And David Hogg saw this as an opportunity to, I guess, teach the My Pillow guy a lesson by starting his own pillow company called Good Pillow. But what's interesting is that none of the criticism towards the My Pillow guy CEO had to do with the quality of his pillows, right? That's not important. Like, the quality of the product is so secondary. It's actually not even tertiary or quaternary. It's literally just not on the board. It doesn't register with woke people. Okay, the quality of the product is not important, which is why they never criticize that My Pillow is actually bad, or it doesn't help you sleep properly. No, that's not important. Good Pillow, on the other hand, was the way you need to make a company like a community. And again, the product didn't even come up. Like, they didn't even talk about it. What David Hogg did talk about it is that, yes, his new company is going to pay workers a living wage. He is going to have his company as environmental friendly. He's going to, like all these left-leaning things. Like, he's going to donate to correct activist groups. He's going to do all these nice things for society. But, like, at no point does he actually explain to me why I should buy a Good Pillow. Like, why would the product make me happy? And yay and behold, this is how it started. I can and will run a better business and make a better product, all with more happy staff than Mike, the pillow guy, while creating US-based union jobs and helping people. This pillow fight is just getting started. So this is how it started, and this is how it's going. Effective immediately, I have resigned and released all shares, any ownership, any control of Good Pillow LLC. I want to thank Will for his partnership and wish him absolutely nothing but success with the future of Good Pillow. So why did this happen? The reason why did this happen is because ideology met with reality. You see, the ideologue never suffers for his bad ideas. The ideologue can come with tyrannical ideas that he implements on society, such as the idea of we should run companies like communities. And when a company goes bankrupt, the ideologue doesn't suffer. He's never being held to account, right? The ideologue is not like an intelligent person, like, for example, an engineer, which, regardless of how he designs a bridge and how beautiful and intricate his design is, if the bridge collapses, the engineer is held responsible, right? Ideologues do never get held responsible, which is why they can advocate for tyrannical things. But in this situation, the ideologue actually met reality. And he realized that, okay, I didn't focus on the product, and he went bankrupt. But I think there's a little bit more than that. I think it's also the fact that usually when a Marxist or a socialist or, like someone that lectures corporations, they think that the CEO or that the founders are just people that happen to have capital. They think that, okay, well, if you're a wealthy person, you can just create a business. And that's not the case. Like, just being wealthy is not enough to create a business. You have to actually know something about that business in order to be able to create it. All right. David Hogg knew absolutely nothing about making pillows. He knew absolutely nothing about managing a business. He knew absolutely nothing about the intricacies of the market. And because of that, he failed. All right. Now, despite the overwhelming support that he got, despite the fact that people donated a lot of money and people were willing to help him, he could not manage. And like, here's the reason. He realized that given his activism and family commitments and schoolwork, he could not give 100% to Good Pillow. So his activism came first, right? Like, he talks about how he cares about the workers, how he wanted a company where the workers are being treated properly, and how his company is going to change the world, but his activism is more important than that. And this is why people who are woke are dangerous. It's because their activism will always come first. Like, if you hire them in your company will never be at the front and center. It's always going to be their activism. And I'm using David Hogg as an example here, but like, I'm pretty sure anyone that dealt with woke people know that this is not just a one-off. This is why most people, when I present this video, they're going to be like, oh, wow, yeah, sure. Because they're going to think about examples from their company, from their life, and they're going to be like, yeah, that's kind of true. And, you know, like, it leads to loosey comments on the internet, like Ben Shapiro saying that nothing he could have done would have been able to help David sell the product, which is absolutely true. Because David wasn't interested in selling a product. He wasn't interested in bringing pillows to the world. He was interested in doing activism. And this is what happens when you give money to these activists. They squander it. They don't know what to do with it. I mean, I knew from the start that like, if David was a right-winger and he would have had the exact same intentions, I would have been like, okay, you're not going to make it. Because he's not passionate about making pillows. He never worked a day in his life in a pillow factory, so he doesn't understand the business. He didn't create other companies, so he doesn't understand how the market works. All he did was go to university and go to school. Yeah, that doesn't teach you how to get a job. Not in 2021, anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care.